Clark with Xingyi Machine USA. And today we're going to talk about how to change the oil in the gearbox on a Xingyi grinding machine. Now for this video we're using the 820RC, which is one of the larger grinders, but this video will apply to any Xingyi grinder that they make. So it's the same tools, same operation. The first time you change oil on a Xingyi grinder will be after 500 hours of operation. After that, you're going to do it annually. So if you've had a grinder for a year or two, it's probably time to change your gear oil. So let's take a look at what we need to do this. First off, we need a 140 viscosity gear oil. This is a SAE 140, this is a GL4, which is a pretty standard gear oil. There's also recommendations specifically for the Xingyi grinders that you can get from Xingyi Machine USA. But any standard gear oil, as long as it's a 140, will work. Of course, you need an oil drain pan, one that can hold at least 2 gallons or a gallon and a half. We're using a piece of cardboard here to protect the floor from any spills. And then you need a couple Allen wrenches. One's a 4mm and the other's an 8mm. And the 8mm will undo your drain plugs and your fill plug, and this will undo the little cover at the top of the grinder. Okay, so that's what we need. So the first thing we do is tip the machine back so we have access to the base. And we want to look for the drain plug, and this is where you need the 8mm Allen to release that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the heads so I can bring that drain plug down to the low point, so it'll be easier to drain without making a big mess. So now you can see I've got the drain plug in a good position. Next thing I'm going to do is remove the dust shroud so I don't get a bunch of oil on the dust shroud. I'll have to clean up later. So after we've drained the oil, you want to replace the plug, make sure it's good and tight. You can check the gasket. If the gasket, you might need a new squeeze gasket, which you can get at any auto parts store. Make sure the plug is good and tight when you replace it. And make sure that you dispose of the oil properly. You'll need to take it to a place where they can recycle the oil, put it into a bin, and you could probably store 2 or 3 oil changes before you need to dump it. Okay? So this is the cover plate for the fill spout, but I need to show you this. It's easier to find when it's flat like this. And then once I roll this out of the way, I can look in here and I can't see the port because the port's going to be exactly opposite of where it was on the bottom. And so what I need to do is tip the machine back and spin the heads until that lines up, and then I can see it, I can reach it with the wrench. So now that we've opened the inspection port, you can see that the fill plug is not there. So what we need to do is we need to rotate the heads until it becomes visible. And now I can see the fill plug right there. So now that we've located the fill plug, I've put the grinder back on the floor. And now I need to remove this fill plug. You might need like a crescent wrench to break it loose. And then that should come off pretty easy. So besides the oil, what we use is a quart and gallon fluid pump. And this just screws onto the top of the can, and you can literally pump, and this hose is small enough to fit inside this hole, as the hole is very tight. So you can use a funnel, but you'd have to have a very, very small funnel to fit in that hole. We found this was the easiest way to get the new gear oil into the gearbox. So after we finished filling the oil, you want to just replace this fill plug Make sure it's tight. And then tighten the cover plate back into place. Using the 4mm Allen. So that's it to complete the operation. For when you're filling, the 820RC takes 8.5 liters of gear oil, or 2 gallons roughly. So if you have two 1-gallon containers, that's what you'll need to fill that gearbox. And we have a sheet on the website at XingyiMachineUSA.com that will tell you exactly how much gear oil you need for every machine that we sell. Okay, and that's it. So thanks for watching.